Hey guys, it's Clay from Clear Critique. When Pendex Productions asked me to discuss my favorite James Bond scene as part of a multi-YouTuber collaboration, I was ecstatic. I love the Bond franchise and have done several videos on it in the past. However, as both a critic and a fan, sitting down and actually selecting one scene was a daunting task. This is a series so iconic, even the bad movies have at least one sequence that latched onto my brain. In the end, I went with my gut and picked a scene that is not only dearest to my heart, but one I would nominate as the franchise's best. So in the spirit of Craig's final outing in No Time to Die, here's my favorite scene from a Bond film. Be sure to subscribe if you enjoyed the video, comment with your thoughts below, and check out the other videos in this Bond is Back playlist. Let's do it! The opening sequence at the dam in GoldenEye is so good that not only should it stand as a benchmark to which other Bond openings are compared, but serve as a blueprint for writers and directors on how to craft the perfect introduction in an action film. Following one of the best gun barrel shots in the series, the scene opens with a prop plane gliding over a dam. It cuts to our hero, face unknown, sprinting across the top of it while the music gets into the groove. The man hooks up his equipment, and we can see how the sparseness of a score can be an asset, since the music is full of empty spaces and thus allows room for these footfalls and clicks. We then get this wonderful shot of the camera looking upwards like a person would, showing the immense height of the structure. We then cut to a shot of similar speed, but this time peering downwards. From these two shots we know how death-defying this jump is, and we are on edge, waiting for the hero's plunge. Nothing makes the audience suck in their breath like when the music cuts out. The man launches a grappling line to pull himself into the facility. The scene moves to some Russians in the bathroom, and the man I'll call Bond now, because we now see him, sneaks up on one in the stall and punches him out. This is an interesting choice. While we saw Bond's figure, silhouette, and eyes before, this is Brosnan's first real appearance as James Bond, and he's doing a Spider-Man dump block on a henchman. One could argue this is undignified, but it shows that 1. This is a Bond with at least some level of campiness, and 2. That stealth is the name of the game here. He then runs into his partner, 006, in dramatic fashion.
I'm alone. Aren't we all?
I can't say whether this was intentional, but to me their separate introductions say much about their characters. Both have a prominent silhouette shot, and yet while Bond's is stealthy, 006's is abrupt, which comes into play later. The two agents proceed with the mission, and through their actions and the editing, it's clear that they have worked together before. We don't need a, we've been working for over a year, no. They have a rhythm, they have an efficiency, and that's all we need to be shown. When they infiltrate the main room where they must plant explosives, 007 remarks that's too quiet, to which 006 shrugs off.
Half of everything is luck, James. And the other half?
Again, this foreshadows this agent's impulsive, less debonair nature, and halfway through the film we see how that turns out. This quick gun pass reinforces their comfortable rhythm, guards flood in, the agents continue to banter, showing how normal such a situation is for them. But then, Bond attempts a bit of banter once more.
Shut the door, Alec! There's a draft! Alec?
Move out. Throw down your weapon and walk towards me.
Bond surrenders, approaching the Russian officer named Ourumov, who proceeds to allegedly kill 006. Now, if I have a problem with this sequence, it's here. What did James see? Did Ourumov just shoot next to his head, or what? 'Cause tinnitus. Ouch. Ourumov warns his men not to shoot, as they may hit the gas tanks. And now we get to the best part of this entire opening. This is perfect. The lack of sound, save for the squeaky wheels, is very funny. Ourumov appears amused rather than angry at this display, an ideal setup for a cat and mouse plot. And the gravity on Brosnan's face reminds us that, as whimsical as this is, it's still a grave situation. This bit is everything that is fun, tense, and stylish about this franchise, and I adore it.
You can't win.
Bond initiates a conveyor belt, Donkey Kong's the henchman, escapes and chases down a plane. Here, things get a little cheesy, like this one guard who gets hit by a motorcycle that was apparently outfitted with a pneumatic trebuchet. The sequence then goes bananas. Bond, seeing his one chance of escape flying away, chases the plane on a motorcycle off a cliff, falls towards it, and climbs into the cockpit. The green screen is outdated but not Airbender egregious, and Brosnan's panic helps bring us back to reality. He pulls the plane out of its dive, and here you'd expect the big, brassy uproar of triumphant music, but that doesn't happen. The score waits for after the explosion, the true finale of the scene, and the music cue isn't a title swell but a simple series of thumping bass that starts the theme song. And thank God this scene gets to transition into a good song, unlike another promising opening sequence I've mentioned before. This scene is bookmarked by 2 gun barrels, and the second pulls us into the next sequence. Opening, finished. It's tempting to just drop the mic and leave it there, but I like my mic, and I didn't vacuum. So much happens in this introduction. Characterization, foreshadowing, action, suspense, comedy. Not to mention the scene carried the added pressure of introducing a new actor to the role. With all of this going on, this scene could have easily been a chaotic tonal mishmash. But it's not. The gray-black color palette is consistent and ideal for espionage. The acting keeps the tension real even in its cornier moments. A couple of cuts aside, the editing is excellent. The quick, fluid pacing shows camaraderie, and the slower pacing intensifies an anxious standoff. And if I can harp on one thing in particular, it's that the intro to GoldenEye is wonderfully rhythmic, in the editing as well as the movements of characters and camera. It is a tight, professional sequence that does everything it needs to do with precision and flair. One of the joys of a long-standing franchise is that things can get better. I look forward to Craig's final outing and the reboot to follow, as well as the possibility of this scene being topped.
Well, everybody needs a hobby.
So what's yours?
Resurrection.